This video will show you a very easy and simple process when it comes to changing our own beliefs. I'm going to share with you a practical way to go about it so that you're really able to get what you want in your life by being the kind of person you prefer. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all about understanding how our beliefs are creating our reality and this new process that I've been using that's really changed the way that I see myself and also my core beliefs about how and who I am. Now, first off, let me say that I believe that this is even more powerful than the law of attraction. It's that our beliefs are creating our reality. Now, what this means is that whatever we believe to be true will end up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. That whatever we believe to be true, we will look for patterns that correlate with those things coming out true for us. Now, the power in this is that we can believe, for example, that the law of attraction doesn't work. And that means that we will get the self-fulfilling prophecy that there is no correlation between the thoughts that we think to what we experience in our life. Now, the idea behind this is that it's our beliefs that are more powerful than just the law of attraction itself. So if we get to the core of what we believe to be true, that's where everything begins to change. And you may have noticed this too. If you're like, oh, my intention is to attract XYZ, but you feel like there's a block there, and even though you're thinking about it, you're not actually experiencing it, that could be because the fundamental core belief hasn't been changed, even though you're consciously thinking about it. Now understand first off that most of our beliefs are formed when we are growing up, they're formed when we're younger, and that what we can think of this as is in the form of our identity. Our identity, the way we see ourselves, our self-image and who we think we are, like how we relate to the outer world, that threshold, that barrier is what's going to determine what we actually perceive of. Now let me share with you an interesting idea. The idea is that they've shown in science that our brain is constantly processing about 4 million bits of information per second, when in reality there is over 400 billion bits of information per second that we're perceiving of. Now those numbers might be off a little bit, but that's the general gist of how much we're perceiving to how much there really is. Now think of it, whatever we are wired to see, it's almost like we pull apart the expectations we have out of what really does exist, and we see whatever our mind is tuned to see. Now this is where all the power is, and this is where we can begin to really change by changing our core beliefs. Now this is the process, the easy process that I have for you. Think of your identity, think of who you are and how you relate to the outer world, and know that from this point going on, you are aware of the choices you make. Every choice you make is going to either wire in the beliefs about who you prefer to be or the identity of who you don't prefer to be. So depending upon what actions you take, depending upon where you put your emotion, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, every time you make a choice with that, whether that's unconscious or conscious, but now you're more aware of it now that you're watching this and we're talking about it, the idea is that these are votes. These are votes that are saying yes to whichever identity you want to continue to reward or you want to continue to wire in. So think about it in that form. Now, in order to change the identity you have, what you must be able to do is to start to wire in the new identity by wiring in the new beliefs. So this may mean that if your intention is to be somebody that is more outgoing, that what you do is you stop making choices based on being shy, choices based on like when you're standing at an elevator saying, oh, I can't talk to this person, or, you know, I'm just a shy person. If you see like a girl or a guy you like, it's like you don't want to talk to them because you're that shy person. What you do is from now on, you start to challenge that identity. You challenge that identity by deciding that you're going to take action against the grain of what you would normally do. Now, how could you do this? Well, the easiest example that I like to give is what if you were to go out and instead of maybe like standing at the elevator and being quiet and not saying anything like most people do, what you do instead is you push yourself to talk to the people that are around you. You push yourself to say something, and just by doing that, you're starting to say and vote for the new identity. You're starting to take away from the power of those choices of the old identity. Now say you've always been like, oh, I'm afraid to talk to this person I'm attracted to. Push yourself to say something to them. As you vote for it, you're starting to wire in the new identity. Now the thing is our current identity has so much momentum with prior conditioning, and it may take us a month or two of acting like this and of voting for ourselves to have these beliefs before we actually see massive results. But the idea is that with repetition, we will begin to change our beliefs, and over time, it'll be something that we become much more aware of. Now, the other part of this is understanding that we can always ask ourselves the question, what would I have to believe is true to be having this kind of experience? Now, this could mean, maybe we feel like we feel anxiety when we're in public around people. What would I have to believe is true for me to be having this kind of experience? Well, I'd have to believe that maybe I'm not good at talking to people, or at some level I feel threatened if I'm around all of these people, or I'm not going to know what to say if someone says something to me. These are all beliefs, but if you go beyond these beliefs and you ask yourself the question, well, where did this belief come from? Or what could be the belief behind this belief? Then you get a little bit deeper. You may see that then you get to a belief where you say that I care what other people think. You see, that's a little bit deeper than the prior belief. So you can go deeper and find your core beliefs by asking that question. What would I have to believe is true to be having this kind of experience? Well, what would I have to believe beyond that in order to have that experience? So I'd believe that, I care what people think. And then you'd say, well, why would I believe and really care what people think so much? Well, I believe that I need the validation of other people. Well, why do I need the validation of other people? You see, and then you start to see that there's memories of the past that have wired this in. But this is the best part. The moment you become aware that you no longer want to continue to perpetuate that experience over and over again is the moment you can really choose to let it go. And that's where the power is. It's in conscious choice. Priorly, all of this momentum, all of this conditioning has been on autopilot because that's who we think that we are. But now we're aware of this, and now we can vote for the new identity by taking action and making choices that correlate with it. Maybe every day have an intention that you're going to focus on emotions of how you prefer to be. Focus on gratitude for what you already have. Focus on these things for just a couple minutes a day. And as you do that over time, and this is with consistency, you can change all of this with small little changes, but those small little changes have to be over the course of a month or 2 months or longer or forever. And the idea is as you do that, you will start to see yourself differently. So it's not like you have to make these dramatic changes and completely change your life, although that can be powerful too. But the other part of it is make little choices every day, take action, and make votes for the new identity. And every time you make a vote, you are adding to it, and you are letting go of the old identity so you can really be who you prefer to be. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, I put a little PDF inside of the description box on the top 5 law of attraction books that have changed my life. 2 of those books you can find for free online. They're under 50 pages, and I think you guys will really dig it. So other than that, I'll see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste.